Hello everyone, and welcome back to the OptiTrack LiveLink tutorial for Unreal Engine. In the last video, we covered Mocap Manager, which was a really helpful tool to get motion capture data in as easy as possible. We're going to continue where we left off with Mocap Manager, talking about the record section and take recorder. However, just understand that both of these sections, we're not actually going to press record in either of these options. But it is important to know some of the settings that we're going to be applying because they do affect what happens later downstream. So here in Mocap Manager, the record option basically looks the exact same as take recorder. So I'm going to actually pull up take recorder by going to Windows, Cinematics, and then take recorder. Okay, so as soon as you open up take recorder, it's also going to open up sequencer, which is where you just review all of your data. And I'm going to drop the outliner next to take recorder and then click take recorder. So in take recorder, you could see that it just says scene 1, take 1, and then this is the name of our file that we're going to record, which is the sequence that will show up. If we change anything here, let's just say test, you could see that it changes the slate name. And I can also, I'll just call this demo for now to make things easy. If we scroll down in Mocap Manager, you can see that we have a bunch of options to add things. So if we click any of these buttons, it'll say record this actor. So what we're basically doing is we're recording the original Motive avatar's motion capture data, which is pretty helpful for backup in case we need to do things in post later. Like, let's say, for example, we missed recording the MetaHuman data. Instead, we can record the Motive data and then just apply the MetaHuman data onto it after the fact. It's nice to have some backups for this stuff. So I would actually do the same thing for the Katana, and I'm just realizing this is the MetaHuman, not the Motive avatar. This is the Motive avatar, but I'll do the Katana as well. And then these two sets of data here are actually the LiveLink data themselves. So even if we didn't want to record the Motive data, this would just be simply the LiveLink data that we're recording. We have other LiveLink subjects here that show up. So we've got, for example, my facial animation going on at the same time as well. The most important thing that we want to actually do is add a new actor. So currently you can see in here in Mocap Manager, there's nothing that actually shows the full MetaHuman blueprint. So what we want to do is we want to click this drop down, scroll down, and find the blueprint for the MetaHuman. So now looking in take recorder again, you can see that we've added these assets here. And once I click add source, you'll see that we've got the blueprint for the MetaHuman as well. And that also shows up here in Mocap Manager. Now, if we were to click record in either of these options here, it would be the same exact thing. Nothing would change. But again, we're not going to record here. And the biggest reason why is because we're actually going to record in a thing called Switchboard that we'll cover in the next episode. And just briefly to talk about what Switchboard does is it connects all of our recording instances. So when you're recording performance capture data, you also want to record the Motive takes. So we're going to connect to Switchboard, Unreal, and Motive all at the same time and hit record in one place, and then it'll record everywhere at the same time. And then even when we stop recording, it'll stop recording in all of the softwares and save it for us. So that makes things really easy. And yeah, that'll be in the next episode. Hey guys, so this is Jacob in post, but for this next section where we go over the settings specifically for the skeleton intake recorder, I just wanted to point out that you only need to do this if you're on any version prior to the OptiTrack LiveLink plugin for 5.7 v2. So 5.7 v2 actually made it so that this setting doesn't matter, but if you're on any version before that, setting does matter, so just keep that in mind. Within the data that we're capturing, we actually have some specific settings that we need to talk about in the take recorder section. So if you click Jacob Scaled and you scroll down, you can find that there is some information like what type of things that we want to record within this asset itself. But the most important one that we want to record, or not record, in fact, is this remove root animation. So I'll just remove this for now, and then I will hit record. And we'll record this data, and then we'll review it right afterwards. So I'll hit record, and as you can see, it is currently recording, and we'll let the MetaHuman walk around for a little bit, and then I'll just click stop. Okay, so once it's done processing all of the data, it's got a lot to record. We're then gonna jump into the sequence and we're gonna review it. So the reason why in that Jacob scaled asset I turned off remove root animation is because there's a bug that I've seen where the MetaHuman's animation root transform properties actually scale exponentially with the motive avatar moving around. And this ultimately means that the MetaHuman isn't in the same animation space as the motive avatar. So let's go ahead and review that. So under Mocap Manager, we can actually look at this button here, and it says open last recorded sequence. So if we click that, it's going to jump into Sequencer and show us the last recorded sequence. For now, hide everything in the stage. All right, so now we can minimize Mocap Manager for now. And if we press play, you can see that we've got our animation. So as you guys can see, this is something that you would want to do if you are in any plugin version before 5.7 v2. But here, it does nothing for me because I am in the correct version. So that's basically everything in Take Recorder and Mocap Manager's record section. Let's go ahead and go over the review section now too. So you can see that we have basically all the takes that we've recorded. Now things might be a little bit messed up here because I went in and deleted some stuff. You can just basically click any of these takes to review them. But yeah, you can go in, review them, rate them if they're good takes or bad takes to use, and then the quality of them maybe, or you can use the status to see where they're at in the cleaning pipeline, and just basically use this however which way you like. It's really nice to use Mocap Manager with these tools that didn't really exist in the past. So I think that covers everything in this video. In the next video, we're going to be talking about Switchboard, where we'll end up actually pressing record so that we record all of the software that we need to at the same time. As always, thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.